Have you ever set a goal for yourself and then had no idea how you're going to do it? My two best friends and I decided we were going to do the Rubicon Trail, but we had no rock crawling experience. So for 4 months, we learned on beginner trails, harder trails, learned how to spot, and modified our vehicles to get ready for the king of them all, the Rubicon Trail, the most famous, grueling, and incredible rock crawling trail in the US, the namesake of our Jeeps, and the biggest challenge we'd have ever faced off-road. We started as newbies, but over the course of 3 days, we became something else entirely. Good morning from the Rubicon Trail. I've been waiting a long time to say that. I'm really excited. This is such a bucket list thing for me and Chris and Lance. And so I cannot wait, but I'm also a little anxious about what's gonna lie ahead. But we're gonna start rolling here in the next few minutes. We're all basically ready to go. Mike from Metal Cloak just showed up. He's gonna be our guide for the first, I don't know, few hours of the day, I think. And that'll be really nice to have someone who's done it before, just kind of like get us comfortable with it. And then we're on our own for the next 2 or 3 days. So I don't really have anything else to say. Let's just go drive the Rubicon. So this is the Rubicon Trail in all of its glory, and we are right here, and we will be probably today. Our plan is to get through Gatekeeper to the bowl, and then up and over down to Buck Island. That's our initial plan, try to find some camping around Buck Island. So, you know, it looks like a lot. I think it's probably not that many miles, but it's a lot of different obstacles. V-Notch, Mud Lake, Little Sluice, that's the one we're all a little worried about. Walker Hill. I mean, anyway, can't wait to start driving some of these legendary obstacles. Your supreme expertise and yeah, I think like you going first just because you've done it before, and it'll just help give us a feel for the trail.
Okay, we'll get stacked up right at the entrance of Gatekeeper. You guys can get out, watch me go through, see my line. I'll pull up and get out and come back and help spot.
Cool. Chris, are you ready?
Yeah, ready as ever be.
I mean, you look a little stressed out, dude.
I'm a little bit nervous. I think if I wasn't a little bit nervous, then I'm probably not taking this seriously.
Should we go? Should we just leave?
Yeah.
Just drive back to Boise?
Oh, like turn tail and run?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No.
Last chance.
No. No. I think it's kind of, you know, especially for like you and me, we got the Rubicon badging. And so it'd be kind of ironic that we get to the Rubicon and then turn around and run away like, you know, scared little children.
This will be not very hard, not very challenging. Nothing will go wrong. Everyone will have a perfect time going through. That's the way.
You're doing your best to jinx this entire
just jinxed.
trip. So if something breaks, it's your fault.
Yeah, I just jinxed the whole thing.
As you come up over that little rise right there and look straight ahead, you'll see the bowl.
At this point, we were living in a dream, one that all three of us shared. And while we were all first-timers, somehow it felt like we belonged on this trail.
So I am at the start of Gatekeeper. I'll stop here and wait for you guys.
So this was Gatekeeper, our very first taste of the Rubicon Trail and the moment we've been practicing for. So we're here at the first kind of major obstacle on the Rubicon, which is called Gatekeeper, and it's not very long, but it's a lot of, I don't know, big boulders. If you look at it too long, it looks a little intimidating, and it's exactly what it says. It's a gatekeeper. It's like your intro. It's like, welcome to varsity, you know? So we're gonna talk to Mike about it, and then we're gonna give it a shot and just get, I guess, initiated into the Rubicon. I mean, I am seeing a few scrapes on the rocks. Things of
some metal shavings right here, a little aluminum.
Yeah.
This section's probably about 100 yards long, and we're going to come up and over and down, and some more big boulders, some little tight maneuvering, and then we'll come around, we'll come out, and then we'll be on top of the bowl.
Sweet. I'm actually really excited. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The definition of fun is as follows: enjoyment, amusement, or lighthearted pleasure. Nowhere in there does it say banging your Jeep around on rocks, scraping as you go. But watching Mike show us the way through Gatekeeper, we were about to learn a whole new definition of that word. My turn. I kind of was watching Mike's line, but he's got a two-door. I was still very much learning how to finesse Finnegan's 470 foot-pounds of torque over the rocks, and when I was in doubt, I just throttled out. But I quickly learned that each rock was different, and the same approach doesn't always work. Gatekeeper was feeling like a warning, or an initiation, or for others maybe, a red carpet for what was to come later. But for now, I was just happy to have made it through and was eager to help the guys get through as well. With me and Finnegan through, it was time for Chris to take his 2014 JKU named Ripley through one of its hardest challenges since it left the assembly line in Ohio. Nice, buddy. Why didn't I think of that? I can't explain to you how much fun I'm having right now. Chris, who up to this point had had the least amount of crawling practice, was doing great. As anxious as he was, his slow and steady demeanor and focus on his spotter kept him moving over the rocks with very little issue.
Perfect. Slider.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Pull up, park out of the way.
Lance and his 86-inch wide B-Raptor was next. Now, Lance had watched just about every B-Raptor Rubicon video ever made before coming into the Gatekeeper, and none of them made him feel comfortable. One of the reasons he bought the B-Raptor was the beefed-up steering rack and the very beefy control arms. Both of those things would make a huge difference for him over the next few days. But with a good spotter and a good line, even a wide IFS like his Bronco had little to no problems getting through Gatekeeper. Attaboy! What do you think, Chris? First Gatekeeper, how'd it go?
A little bit, yeah, I definitely, feel the nerves, but I gotta say, having a really good spotter helps. Are you feeling any better about the Rubicon Trail after hitting the Gatekeeper and doing it like a pro?
As long as Mike is with us.
Well, I'd be there for today,
Oh.
so I think by the end of today, we'll have a good feeling.
Yeah.
Wheels on rocks. Always look out for the small rock that has paint on it.
Having the undercloak protection system gives me a little peace of mind on this trail.
A little peace of mind? How about all of the peace of mind? I am without metal cloak.
Not really without metal cloak. Mike is metal cloak.
So there's a fun little drop coming up here. It's easy, it just looks ominous.
We had reached what's called the Bowl, a part of the trail just a half mile from where we started. And this was our first look at some of the open spaces of the Rubicon. Granite slab as far as you can see, with forested mountains and lakes in the distance. It was worth getting out and taking an extra look. Before too long, though, it was time to go. And driving it kind of reminded me of some of the terrain we saw in Moab, Utah.
Lance, this is giving me Metal Masher vibes right now, bro.
100%. We'll pay attention here because there's a little bit of a drop over on the right. This is like choose your own adventure. 3 different vehicles, 3 different lines. I like it.
Feel like we have the Rubicon to ourselves today.
I can imagine this trail during Jeep Jamboree, lined with vehicles from one end to the other. But that was not the case today. We had plenty of room to stretch our legs as we crossed the granite slabs of the Bowl. As we made our way over to what's called Beer Tree, we started climbing the slabs, which were relatively harmless as long as you didn't get too close to the boulders on the side of the trail. Chris had a near miss here, but with a little realignment, passed through just fine. And Lance and his Bronco were basically in cruise control. At this point, we were all getting the feel for the trail and gaining confidence as we went. There was a rhythm to the rocks, swaying me back and forth in the saddle, but pushing me ever forward. We were still being slow and cautious because all it takes is one careless moment on this trail and you might have a big problem. But with Mike in the lead, it kept us at ease as we headed toward the next named obstacle.
And we're coming up on Whalebones, one of my least favorite for a two-door.
Seems to be the problem, Mike.
Short wheelbase.
Whalebones can be a problem. It's a very steep rock face with just enough holes for your tires to fall into to make finding traction hard.
Well, Will, you lifted that back driver's side tire.
I thought I was following Mike's line, but I think I split his line. You guys, I would not recommend taking the line that I did. That was the fool's line.
Yeah, Will.
Hard driver.
Chris's line showed us just how unsettling whalebones can be when he let off the gas and lifted his front tire off the rock. But with a little skinny pedal, Chris was up and over, no problem. However, nothing makes you feel more like a noob like when an old-timer shows up and puts on a clinic while towing a trailer.
Well, that's the other way to do it. That's fantastic.
How you doing back there, Lance? I was born to do this, Chris. Born to do this.
Lance decided to follow the old-timers line, but he couldn't quite get up whalebones with the ease and aplomb of the guy towing a trailer. Not that any of us could have. We were now officially 1 mile into the Rubicon. Our next stop was the Ellis Creek Bridge, which serves as a marker of sorts for when things get a little more serious.
We're like well into the Rubicon, and it is a total blast. I mean, you know, there's some white knuckle moments. Chris was three-wheeling there for a second and starting to slide down the hill, and I don't know, it was a little white knuckle for a second, but like for the most part, it's just fun, like fun. And what we've heard is that like the Rubicon is grueling, all rocks all day long, and you get really exhausted. And right now, like, this could change, but I'm not feeling exhausted. I'm feeling like energized by these rocks. It reminds me of the day that Lance and I spent on Metal Masher, and it was like we were on that trail for like nine hours or something, and we just loved it. Just loved getting out and spotting and solving problems, and I don't know, I guess I'm just saying I'm having a lot of fun.
I'm in heaven, guys. In heaven. Alright, starting to enter just a little dry stream bed for a bit. Alright, I just passed the Rubicon Trail mile marker 1.5. 11 more to go. Wow. Alright, I'm rolling up on Ellis Creek Bridge right now. I'll stop on the other side. What's your assessment on our time? It's a little slower pace if you want to get to Buck Island, but you don't have to. There's lots of cool camp spots along the way.
As we crossed the Ellis Creek Bridge, we were ready to stop for a snack. After all, we'd already been on the trail for 4 hours.
Mike, you've been our sage leader, and I know that we only have you for a little bit longer today before you got to go back to the real world. Up to here, how would you rate this part of the trail versus the rest of the trail? Like, have we done hard stuff? Is it kind of like the hard stuff is coming?
You've had enough thrown at you to give you a good taste of what's to come. You won't find anything harder than some of the stuff we've been through, except for maybe Little Sluice, which is optional. Soup Bowl is optional. I usually just wheel around it. Cadillac Hill has some challenges, but it's nothing like you haven't already seen. So it's just a lot of this. It's just a slow and low and just kind of pick your way through the lines.
Yeah.
So no, you guys are doing great. I mean, no carnage, and we've only gone 1.5 miles.
Yeah. When Mike said, "Hey, I'm at the 1.5 mile marker," I was like, "Huh."
One of the reasons that we don't want to rush is because we enjoy sitting on a rock and eating blueberries like you haven't eaten in 4 days.
I have to say too, like probably the best advice we've gotten so far was like, think Mike said it earlier on, and then a few other people at Metal Cloak said just, don't take anything for granted. And
Don't take anything for granted.
Granite. Oh, you beat me to it.
One thing I will add, and Lance brought this up, he's like, what can we do to help support the trail and the nonprofits and stuff? So this is all managed by the Rubicon Trail Foundation. And yeah, you can always donate to them, support their causes and stuff. But while you're out here on the trail, respect the lands, pick up your trash, pick up other people's trash, stay on the trail, get to know, tread lightly, leave no trace, all those principles, and support them. Educate others, because not everybody knows them. But we want to leave this just how we found it, if not better. So just want to put my little public service announcement in there, because it's very important how we keep this open to off-roaders.
We are going slow, but I love this pace. I love that it's a nice day. There's nobody really on the trail today, and so we're just going to keep going slow and see how far we get.
At 4 hours and less than 2 miles in, if there were a schedule, we'd have been behind. And making it to Buck Island Lake was looking more and more unlikely. But we gave it a shot anyway.
I'm at the base of Walker Hill, so I'll wait here.
What you doing, Lance?
Picking up trash from somebody else. Trail maintenance.
It's funny, this is what Lance does when he comes over to my house too. Found a bottle of Dr. McGilligutty's intense cherry. So look, if you're gonna leave trash, it's like, leave something cooler than that. Come on.
We were now climbing Walker Hill, named after Chuck Walker, who spent many years spotting people on this hill during Jeep Jamboree.
Did you guys make it up over that little rock climb there? Lance is coming up now. Hang out on it while I watch Chris maneuver. Well, if I wasn't addicted to this before the Rubicon, I am officially addicted to this.
The hill is long, steep, full of rocks and granite slabs, and lulls you into thinking you can go straight up, which is not the case.
See my line there, Will?
Yeah, I did. I thought you V-notched that, but you decided to take it off camber.
I've gotten stuck over on the far side a little too many times, so I've started going up that rock a little bit.
Even though this part of the trail isn't as hard as it used to be, I can still see why people value a good spotter here.
I'll come back and spot you. So I've gotten hung up here a couple times, so keep an eye on the line. Hopefully this one works.
The last stretch of Walker Hill has a set of boulders that look like you should hit them head on, but Mike chose to take a line on the left side of the trail, and I followed suit. I'm rolling on 38-inch Ditto trail grapplers and a 3.5-inch Metal Cloak suspension, but these rocks were just high enough to come up and say hello to my skid plates.
Chris, when Will scrapes, I know we're screwed. Yeah, that's about right.
Chris and his JKU made the climb no problem, but like many moments on this trip, we were worried about Lance's B-Raptor and his IFS control arms catching on the way up. But just like we'd already seen, a good driver and a good spot make all the difference.
Coming up, nothing major. There's definitely a line on the right. Kind of keep your eye on the Jeep in front of you. You'll probably start to get a little cell service right here. This is Cell Phone Tree.
We were now climbing past Cell Phone Tree, which is the only place you can get a cell signal on the Rubicon, but we were more concerned with a couple random boulders in the middle of the trail. Unfortunately, at the end of this obstacle, we were about to lose our trail guide.
Thank you so much, man, for being our guide, for being our trail guru, and just being an awesome dude.
Good hanging out with you guys. You guys are doing great. You don't need me.
Well, I mean, it depends on who you ask.
I mean, I will say spotting is, I mean, that's why we go with people, right? Just have a spotter. Luckily, I know this trail enough to know where to put my tires. But just take your time, get out, scout it. You got a whole couple days ahead of you. So.
All right, man, when we're done, I'll text you how it went.
Yeah, I expect it.
All right,
safe, enjoy it. I mean, the Rubicon is, like I said, people can do this in a day. But that's no fun. Take your time, take in the sights, stop, smell the roses.
It's an adventure. Awesome. All right, dude. Well, safe travels.
All right, guys.
See you next time.
We'll see you.
Thank you, sir.
Be safe.
Looking back, this is the moment the Rubicon truly began for us, because with Mike no longer leading us through, we were now completely on our own.
Hey, Will, could you spot me just real quick?
I'll be right there.
So we just have a little bit of boulder field here that I'm gonna help Chris spot. I came down, but I scraped a little bit, and I have a little more clearance than he does, so I'm gonna try to help him out. Keep that steering wheel right where it is. Yep, keep coming. That's IFS right there. You're gonna clear it here. You might scrape your bumper on the way down. Just ride it real slow. There it is, you're fine.
We were now arriving at one of the most famous obstacles in the US, a nasty, gnarly piece of work called Soup Bowl. This obstacle is mostly bypassed, but for those who wish to give it a try, this very steep, off-camber, low traction, and narrow ledge stair step often caused people to wish they had never done it. A fact we were immediately reminded of when we pulled up and saw a rollover being towed off the trail.
Oh no, rolled too.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, I'm so sorry.
Tipped it over. It's all part of the game, right?
No kidding. Jeez.
Part of the adventure.
Oh my God. At least they're in good spirits about it.
So we've arrived at Soup Bowl, and I promised myself I would give this thing a shot. Seeing it in person is intimidating, and seeing it in person and then seeing a Jeep that's just rolled over being towed out is not a great omen either. So I'm a little nervous to try this thing, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? With images of rollovers playing alongside my memory of every successful Soup Bowl climb I'd watched in the last 4 months, I approached the rocks. There are 2 ledges that you have to climb in order to get up, and your rear tires sink down into a hole, stretching your wheelbase to the point where traction is hard to get. There's a crack in the rock I'd seen people put their tire in and leverage to get grip, which is what I was trying to aim my front driver tire for. My problem was clearance. Finnegan was resting on rock sliders and not the tires, so when I tried to get traction, all I got was wheel spin.
Your front driver doesn't have any traction or any grip. I think it's because you're teetering on your rocker, or not on your rocker, your rocker guard.
There you go. Turn it. Keep coming. No, turn passenger.
I decided to just stay put and see if I could get lucky. But the truth is, we were all out of our league on Soup Bowl. And that's when a total stranger walked over and changed everything.
Yeah. Go straight up the wall. So when you get your front tire up on the wall, turn it. Okay.
Thank you. We were thinking that he had to pivot pre-wall on this. You were really close to getting that notch though.
I know.
In your drivers, like you were kissing it, but you.
Okay.
I now had a new game plan. My goal was to get my front driver tire all the way up on the second ledge and not worry about trying to get my tire in the crack I'd aimed for earlier. But this meant I'd be angled up higher and more off camber than I was earlier. And even just getting up to the second ledge wasn't easy. I couldn't see anything but sky, and my ears were filled with banging and scraping sound. I was literally holding on to the side of Finnegan to keep from falling out the other side, and to my amazement, I started making progress. That is, until I got stuck in almost the exact same spot I'd been before. But this time, I tried something different.
Just drive up it. Just like a good douse at the bottom, and then come out of it as it hits the ledge.
Now I had traction, but Soup Bowl can still flip you over from this position, so I wasn't done yet. To get through it, I had to drive along the ledge and try to make the corner, but that's easier said than done, at least without taking some body damage.
Hit the slider in a second. You got it. Way out. Come on, smash a fender.
I had pinned my rear driver fender against the rock wall, but it was nothing a little bit of leaning couldn't help.
The tire's about to
Oh, you're about to hit the...
Look, stop, back up.
Back this tire into this onto this thing and try to bring this side up. So pull forward, turn driver. Now start turning driver.
That's doing it. I can straighten it out. That's the slider. That's the slider. It's starting to pivot. Yep, go slider. Just pivoting you.
In the end, it wasn't pretty, but that didn't bother me in the least.
That's a hell of a spot. Yeah, buddy! Oh, first time, man. Soup Bowl. That was awesome. Holy cow. It took a professional to come spot me to do it. And I think my seat is wet now with all kinds of different things. Bro, thank you so much, man. There's no way I could have done that without you.
That's okay.
It's all about the spotter.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate
You guys have a great day on the Rubicon.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, man.
Safe travels.
Dude, that is what it's all about right there. Wheelers helping other wheelers, off-roading helping off-roaders. And he was just here. They're just taking a break, and he decided to come over here and like make it happen for me. So I'm super stoked right now. Oh, yeah! I cannot believe I got that my first try. Wow. Let's be clear. There's no way I could have done that if that guy hadn't spotted me. He was so cool. And he knew, like, clearly he knows how to wheel and he knows how to rock crawl, which I don't. Like, I'm still such a noob. And he was able to kind of help me, coach me through it and talk about how to use the throttle and, you know, make sure that I was sliding on my slider and not crushing my fender. And wow, I'm just super, super excited about this. I don't know. I feel like I just won the World Series or something because I got a Soup Bowl on my first try. I can't believe it. So anyway, let's go see the rest of this trail. But from here on out, it's a win. It's a win, baby.
Let's get do this with